And so we are live. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to you if you are in Nigeria, if you're in West Africa. I am glad that we are here again on this live stream where we are holding conversations with authors of the Warrior brand. And today, again, I have another powerful author in our midst. And we're going to be holding conversations that have to do with authoring yourself into authority, wealth, and fame. Thank you for tuning in. And if you are tuning in right now with us, please let's know where you are tuning in from, and then share this live stream so that other individuals can join us on this conversation. To this evening with me is the famous Sunday Akande. I'm Igbo. His name is Yoruba. I hope I have been able to spell it correctly and pronounce it correctly.
Yeah,
Because in
correct.
Igbo language, Akande will be pronounced Akande, but I know that it's Akonde,
Okay.
right? So I have with me
Yes.
Sunday Akande. Permit me if I murdered the name, but I know I got it correctly. So thank you for joining me this evening, Sunday. We are going to be having a beautiful conversation with you. I'm looking forward to this conversation, especially concerning your famous book, Sorosoke, which chronicles one of the darkest days in Nigeria's history in October 2020, or 20th of October 2020, one of Nigeria's darkest days. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much, the Dawn. I'm excited to be with you here. Thank you for having me, and thank you very much for what you are doing for authors. And what Warita is also doing. Thank you, especially for sharing my book, Sorosoke, when it was out. Thank you so much. And thank you for leading me to Warita. I've never regretted following you to Warita. Thank you.
Thank
And for
you.
my name, you pronounce it well, Sunday Akande. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with you. Let's see how it goes.
Yes. Okay, so let's dive in straight into it. Give us a rundown of your life, from your childhood up until this time, because I'm seeing that you went to university, you studied what is related to writing. Not people like me that I studied engineering and I'm doing writing today, but everything I've been seeing, you did psychology, education. I mean, everything is in alignment with your gifting, because I feel that God gifted you with his writing gift. All right. And I'm glad that you were able to do everything, both your university and education and everything, they're in alignment with your gifting, not people like us who did something else in university and we are doing writing today. So give us a
Uh,
rundown of that journey, and then we will go into the
okay.
conversation concerning your books.
All right. All right. My story is not too far from yours. You might think it's far from yours. Anyway, I started as a science student in the secondary school. But along the line, I've known that I'm an artistic person. I'm creative. Even though I was in the science class, this childhood orientation that if you are one of the best in class, you must be in the science class. Okay, so and for the fact that there was no counselor, school counselor in the school, so I had to be in the science class, even though I was a pioneer member of the press club, a pioneer member of dramatic society, a member of the literary and debating society, representing my school in debates, then a member of Egbe Akomolede and Literature Yoruba. So then I was an apprentice at one fine art workshop. So everything about me was artistic and everybody could see. But because I wanted to be a medical doctor, I had my mother say she wanted someone a child who will wear a white gown like doctors. So I knew she wanted me to be a medical doctor. So I found myself in the higher institution. I found myself running after medicine, and eventually I was admitted to study environmental biology in the higher institution. Okay, but I knew because my writing career started in the secondary school. I would write for the drama club, playlets to be staged during drama week and all of that. But I got serious about it when I was in Ladoke, Akintola University of Technology, to study environmental biology. When I realized that this gift, I must continue with it. So I continued to write, even though I was a scientist, a science student, I continued to write. My first book was when I was in part 3, when I wrote Charles and Charity, a play, Charles and Charity. Then after that, I wrote a collection of poetry, 3 volumes. And I will be the first person to write 3 volumes of collection of poetry in Yoruba. I call it Aroye Ibaka, book 1, book 2, and book 3. Now after that, I wrote Mothers Forgive Fathers, another play, Mothers Forgive Fathers, before I wrote Water in the Basket. Water in the Basket is like a prequel to Sorosoke. All right, so Water in the Basket is where I wrote about this. Water in the Basket, it's a book I wrote about the struggle of human rights activists in the face of tyranny, in the face of dictatorship and all of that. All right, so in the course of our discussion, I will be talking more about it because it has to do with Sorosoke also. Before I now release Sorosoke this year, published by Warita. Sorosoke is a novel, just like Water in the Basket is also a novel. Okay, so all along, after my institution, my first degree, before I graduated, I realized that my passion is for the young people. I realized that what we suffered when we were in the secondary school, that there was no counseling psychologist or counselor. Are you there? Can you hear me, Don?
Yes, I can. We
Are
can
you with
hear
me?
you.
All
We can hear
right.
you. I'm in the background. We wanted your face to just be on the screen. So
All
go
right, all
ahead.
right. So what we suffered in the secondary school, that there was no counselor, there was no school counselor. I realized I didn't want, and I still don't want, young people to suffer same. All right. So I have passion for the youth, especially students, young people. So I went into counseling psychology. I diversified into counseling psychology. Right. So after counseling psychology, I went to the seminary for Masters of Divinity. So I have Masters in counseling psychology. Then I have Masters of Divinity in theology. All right. So writing has been a medium of expression for me. So as a counselor, or as a pastor, or as a speaker who wants to speak with the youth on leadership, on governance, on how they can fulfill purpose in life, I use my writing. I use fiction because I see fiction as a common ground, that everybody can understand. So whenever I have a message for my generation and generations to come, I use writing. All right, so that's been my journey. I've been writing. I've been in the writing industry I've been doing active writing for since 2008. All right, so for almost 15 years now, I've been a creative writer. So I write all things as long as it will benefit mankind, especially young people. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that brief rundown. Um, I'm very so excited about your current book, your newest book. I hope that I'm correct. And I want us to have very deep conversation concerning that book. So let me show us a clip.
What do we want? Answers! What do we want? Answers! When do we want it? Now!
I remember when a foreigner wrote about Sorosoki and the internet went agog, and people were like, why would a foreigner write about our history, about our what happened in our own country, and the person is not making money from it on Amazon? People were angry and all that. And then you wrote our own version of the story. One of the darkest days in Nigeria's history of the 20th of October 2020. Give us an insight into Sorosoke. How were you able to get your stories? Were you present at the site where the massacre happened? What exactly happened on that very day? How did you participate in it? And how were you able to put your stories together into this amazing blockbuster called Sorosoke?
All right. I said the other time that I will dwell, I will talk more on water in the basket when Sorosoke comes on. Now, I wrote water in the basket, and like I told you, water in the basket, I wrote it in 2013. I mean, I published in 2013. It's a story about how young people. It's in water in the basket. I foretold, just like any serious writer, is a spiritual, writing is a spiritual activity. The spiritual, it's not only an intellectual activity. So I foresaw and I foretold in Water and Basket that a time will come that young people will gather and protest against the status quo of, a status quo or about things that happen in the nation. All right. So in the book, I even wrote about how they will rise up to learn songs, to learn slogans, how they will move to the entrance leading to the palace of the king, which represents the president, and how they will protest. All right. So immediately after I released Water in the Basket, I started this story. I started this story I call Sorosoke. All right. So, but at a point I had to stop because I felt that what I foretold in Water in the Basket will happen very soon. So a week after the Lekki Toll Gate issue, shooting, a week after that, I finished Sorosoke. I wrote the last chapter of Sorosoke. All right, so that was how it came about. Sorosoke is a chronicle, is a kind of a chronicle of power transitions and political struggle, power struggle in Nigeria and by extension in Africa. Right, it's a creative condensation of over a decade, or so in our history. What happened in our history in the past, and how young people, especially, will rise, instead of being pathetic onlookers in their destiny, in the shaping of their destiny, how they will rise and partake or collaborate with stakeholders to define their destiny. And that's what Sorosoke is about. It's a chronicle of power transitions and political struggle in
Sunday, can you hear me? I think network has cut him off at some point. I think he'll be joining back again. I know he'll be back again because of network issues. But if you've got some quite of value on maybe conversations, I mean, some questions you would like to ask at this juncture, please you can drop in the comment section for our author of the day. So I will beep him. I think he's off. I'm going to beep him to return back on the live stream. Sometimes it happens. Network can be of an issue. Bishala, I can see you. Thank you, Bishala, for joining us. Thank you. Meanwhile, this conversation is about how you can put your experiences in form of written books. So Warital, the publishing company, does a great job at helping you to convert your knowledge into written books. It is one thing that I advise. Okay, Sunday is back.
Sorry,
Can
you
hear
lost
me?
me at a point. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
All
Welcome
right.
back.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as I was saying, Sorosoke is a condensation, is a creative condensation of a decade. You know, I mean, 3 decades, rather 3 decades of our history as a nation. All right. So, and it's a show of what happened in the past and how the youth can step in to do what they can in shaping the destiny of their nation. All right, so that's what Sorosuke is all about. It's not all about answers, I must say. It's a demonstration of the fact that there is nothing that happened during answers that has never happened in the past. But young people this time around did something different that has never been done in the past, you know, by coming together and spoke with one voice. All right, and what they can also now do as a lesson of what they didn't do during the answers, moving forward to help the nation and collaborate with the other stakeholders to move the nation forward. So that's what sort of okay. I was saying the other time that it was named 16 years, you know, previously before the 2010-20 issue happened, before I wrote the last chapter. It was named 16 years, you know, but later it has to be named Sorosoke because of what happened on 2010-20. So that's what Sorosoke is all about. And it might interest you to know that what I named each chapter is a reflection of what happened during the NSAS issue, even though the story is not all about NSAS. For instance, the first chapter is Who Are You? Who are you? You know, and you know, it was a conversation between one senator and the young people at the National Assembly. Then the second chapter is Lead Us Not into Temptation. It was a conversation between Reverend Sam Adeyemi and Adekunle Gold during NSAS, if you know what I'm talking about. Then another one is Don't Waste Your Energy. Another one is Who is bankrolling you? Even though it was not during NSAS, but it was around you know, that time. Another one is Know the Disguise, Know the Lose Focus, Don't Mess with the Wrong Generation, The Girl Will Follow Us Protest, 2010-20. So those are the things, you know, and you know, there's a background around each chapter, leading us into what happened in our history that relates with all, you know, the themes around NSAS that happened there. So it makes it interesting and creative like that. So that's what Sorosoke is about.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And we can see your background. Your background is showing us the branding, the branding that you signify, you present, you know, your books on the background, and Sorosoke standing out there so distinctively. Okay, so let's journey from your book into your takes, your perspectives on authoring yourself into authority, wealth, and fame. I mean, you've written many books, right? What made you go into right? I mean, what made you go into authoring books? Is it because you have experiences you want to share? Is it because, you know? Tell us why you started authoring books, putting stuff into books, and then we can segue upon that into the journey of authoring into wealth, fame, and
All right. First of all, you know, like I told you, I discovered I will be a writer right from yeah, my early days in the secondary school, then moving to an institution. So I will say the necessity around the talent. All right, okay, made me know that you know, I had and I still have something to pass across to the general public, you know. But at a point I realized my audience, the major audience that I have, are young people. All right, so, and I told you that made me go into counseling psychology. So I am a person that believe that my knowledge about God, you know, the theology that I have, should be enough for me to solve human problems, you know, to answer human questions. So writing for me is a medium to now solve all these issues, solve all these and answer all these questions, so that my audience will have, you know, and I will share this with you. Gone are the days, you know, because people will say young people are no more reading. But I would say that is wrong. It's an exaggeration. They are reading, but they may not be reading what we think we are writing, or they may not be reading what many writers are writing. So I discovered that they have interest in many things. They have interest in science and technology. They have interest in sports, football. I see how people talk about World Cup and all of that. They have interest in artificial intelligence. You are even talking about ecto life now. They have interest in global government governance and government and economy and all of that. All right, so they want a writer who will lead their thoughts in all those aspects they have interest in, and that is what I do. So if you are talking about someone that has solutions to human problems, someone that answers questions in the minds of young people, you can refer to my books. That is what I do, but I do it using fictions that everybody will be able to relate with. All right, so that's my motivation. I want to solve questions around human development, and especially around leadership. And that is what, if you have gone through all my books, you will see many of them are satirical. They are satires. I tend to mock what is going on in the society, and in a bid to provide solutions to them. So that's my motivation, talent, and at the same time in a bid to solve human problems and answer human questions.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the thing is this now. The question out. The piece of advice that I want you to give to those who are watching and those who are yet to think about authoring their own books. I mean, a lot of individuals have got all this knowledge, all these experiences, but they're not packaging them in form of books. What do you think is the challenge? What do you think is the problem? And what piece of advice can you give to them? Can everybody be an author? Is that possible?
Yes.
If yes, okay. If no, okay, give us reasons.
Yeah, everybody has something in them to write about. Everybody can be an author. As a matter of fact, everybody should be an author. All right, because the way everybody writes his or her own experience or teaches, differs from one person to the other. So we have to see the dynamism in human thoughts and all of that. So everybody can be an author, but what makes people shy away from authoring books is the fact that they think they cannot do it. All right, and they also think writing is all about talent. And if you look at my Facebook page, when I was introducing this program to my followers, I told them talent is not enough. Talent is not enough. So even if you think you have talent like me, if you think you discover yourself very early like me, if you don't do something about it, you will not end up being an author. All right, so even if you have just a limited level of talent in you to write, it's something one can develop over the time. And like I said on my Facebook page, writing itself is just a fragment, a tiny fragment in authoring a book. It is a process. There are a lot of things that are involved. It's just a matter of studying what is involved or what are involved. It's a matter of moving close to who are already in the industry. It's a matter of, we are even in the global village. It's a matter of going online, look for what it takes, and take your time to study. People like Emeka Nobis that knows much about marketing, publicity, and all of that. All right, so because writing it's a long process. That's another reason why people don't want to do it. It's not something that a lazy person can do. All right, so to be a writer, you have to be a reader, a voracious reader, someone that consumes book a lot. All right, so you have to be a thought leader. You have to think always. You have to, for instance, if I don't write, I think about what to write. I think about writing. So everything about me, is writing and talking, writing and, addressing issues. So you have to be a thought leader. You have to think of providing solutions to human problems. You have to see the challenges people are, passing through, and see how you can key in to solve, to solve these problems. And the reason I said everybody can do that is because you have something to offer. Except over the time you have not been adding value to yourself, except the fact that you are educated, you have learned something, you know how to do something. Even if you are a housewife, Emeka Nobis, for instance, has shown to us how you can even be a wife and do something that other wives can benefit from. So anything you think that you can offer others, that to solve their problems, and they can see as value to their lives, so that they will be able to pay for it. That's a book already. Many people write things on social media, they do many things, they engage in debate, they engage in talks, all right, and they are not collecting anything from it. They are not, they don't know that they are adding value to people, but they don't know that that can be converted to a book. All right, so writing it as a book is very important, because it's a form of preserving a piece of information for generations to come. Right, so I believe everybody can be a writer. It's a matter of learning the process.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Sunday. Thank you so much, guys. If you are here joining us on the live stream, if you got questions for Sunday, please drop your question in the comment section, and I will put your question on the screen so that he can answer the questions. Okay. All right. So, Sunday, another next question is, as I said, we're going to segue from your answer, your question to this particular one. You have authored books. So give us an insight into your journey. What's your perspective, your take on authoring yourself into authority, wealth, and fame?
All right. Yeah, well, I've written a number of books, like I said, and I've discovered that it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey for me. For instance, I consider myself as an authority in the field. Like I told you, for the past 15 years, I've been in it. So if I were a civil service, that's that's half of my civil service lifespan. All right, so that's to tell you that I've done so in the process, I've seen that ordinarily things that I will be running after, as a writer, they run after me. When it comes to people knowing that I have authority in that field. For instance, I told you that I write to address young people and all that. So people see me as someone that has solutions to the problems of the youth. So they invite me to talk, to speak with the young people, to speak with teenagers, to speak with young minds. And may I tell you that I have a team that we call Center for Leadership Development in Africa. So my team and I, we go to different schools and guide them on how to do things, how to discover purpose in life, how to choose their career in life, how to place them in their proper class that they should be, and all of that. And I am able to do all those things because I've been writing books over the time, and they know, because I also write motivational books and Christian book and all of that. So I have authority in that field, and because of that, many other engagements open up for me. All right, so it leads me to having fame, so to say. People know, for instance, there was a time I was sorry, I have to put on the. There was a time I was
Normal.
Yes, now. All right, I think okay, thank you. So there was a time I was somewhere and someone saw me and said, "You must be so that he was telling his mother this man resembles someone I know." And I was just laughing. And he said, "Yes, I remember. Is the face on Aroye Ibaka, he has read the book in school, because many of my books, because they are literary books, are recommended by the government, for secondary school students." And he was just all over me. I said, yes, I'm the person. Don't worry. And the mother had to speak with me and all of that. Okay, so that's one. Two, because I write these books, I lead thoughts. I am a stakeholder. I'm a major stakeholder in the education sector, for instance. All right. So, I think 2 or 3 of my books have been used to set exams, government exams, GS3 exams and all of that. So when I see the question, I say, okay, so I'm part of people that are doing this for the students. So that is what authoring a book can do. We have not even talked about the wealth aspects. People, especially who write books that people can easily pick and have solutions in those books. Let me tell you this: it's only in Africa, in Nigeria and Africa generally, that we don't see creatives as we don't honor creatives very well, even though some people are doing it. Now, in advanced climes, they see creatives as prophets, in the sense that creatives lead thought. I mean, they lead thoughts. They tell the government, for instance, let me use crime and intelligence, criminal intelligence related books or movies as an instance. You see their filmmakers and writers telling the government or forces in charge of security that, okay, even though our security is good, but we think a time will come that some people may breach our security in so aspects. So do something about it. And because you are doing that, because you are releasing that, for the government to do or for security forces to do, if you can do that in other things too, you provide solution and all of that, they see you as people that is as someone that is adding value to them, and because of that, they pay you for it. So you build your wealth over the time. And let me shock you, especially for us that are in the literary world, that write literary books. If you are published by a publishing company, for instance, that are paying you royalties, all right, your royalty continues even when you are gone. Your royalty continues to be paid. So that means you are doing something even for your family when you are still here. So you are building wealth for you and your family. All right, so that's
Sunday, we can't hear you. Check your. We can't hear him anymore. Okay, I can see he's going to come back. Sunday, can you hear me? But we can't hear you. Check your settings. Okay, I think he'll be back. Network sometimes just does this thing. Okay, so I can see Chiwe and the Precious. Awesome conversation. Thank you for bringing this topic. Becoming an author is not easy. Talk more of becoming an authority. Mechanisms. Wow, leading thoughts. Awesome. Authoring yourself into authority, wealth, and fame. Such a topic for the hour. Thank you for this topic, Mechanisms. Authoring is not easy. Talk more. Okay, I think he's back. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so I was saying that apart from the authority and the fame with authoring a book, there is still also wealth creation. Even though we advise young writers not to concentrate on the money as well, but it comes. It's natural when you're adding value to people. They will pay for it. You are building wealth for yourself. And I was saying that writing a book is very important, because even after you are gone, the money comes in as long as your books are being sold. Right? Whether you are collecting royalties or you are self-publishing yourself and you are managing it, as a family managing, business. Your family can even print your books after you are gone. So it's a way of and for us that are in the literary world, because I'm concentrating on the literary world because I'm a literary writer, I concentrate on this. I can write many things, but for now, literary writing is what I do. All right. So it's not even in selling books that we get our own money as literary writers. All All right, so there are prizes to be won. There are competitions. There are, people who recommend your book. They have placed your books in the hands of the authorities in charge of education, in charge of culture and art and all of that. And your books are being produced, in volumes, and you have your money from it. All right, so authority, wealth, and fame, they all come along with authoring a book. And, it's something I've enjoyed over the time. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Sunday. So as we're about to wrap up, I want you to share with us your piece of advice to those who are yet to get on this journey. Some individuals see it as very tough, difficult to do. Some individuals feel that it's for a specific set of individuals who have the authoring genes inside of them. Um, Having given us your perspective about how this authoring books can make you become an author, somebody who is an authority, somebody who is wealthy, and someone who is famous, give us your pieces of advice for those who are watching now who think that this journey is a tough journey. Are there things we ought to do? Are there human beings we ought to connect to? Are there companies
Yes.
that we have to work with to make this a reality? Give us your pieces of advice, guy.
All right. Yes. Just like any of endeavor, just like any profession, there has to be a good writer. With the emphasis on the good, a good author, not just any author, a good author. There are things to be done. All right. So I said one of them the other time. You have to be a good reader. You have to be a good reader. You have to, when they say I've read Wole Soyinka, for instance, what they are saying is that I've read Wole Soyinka's book, or a specific book, or I've read Wole Soyinka's books. But they are not saying it. They are not saying it as though they are studying Wole Soyinka's life. All right. If I say I've read Emeka Nobis, it means I've read a good number of Emeka Nobis books. All right. So and some people will even get Emeka Nobis books. They'll put it on their shelves. Not necessarily that they are reading it at the moment, but they are waiting for a time that they will have a challenge, and they will pick the book because they know that there is a solution in that book. All right. So you must turn yourself to that, to a bundle of wisdom, and you can only do that by reading. You have to see what other people are doing, see what other people are writing. Right. So when you read, it's like you are having an intellectual intercourse with the writer. All right. So when you do that, you are operating at a very higher realm than other people. Right. So you are building your wealth of experience and wisdom and knowledge. Right. So by the time you now write, it's going to be a great thing. All right. So that's the first thing. You must be a good reader. Then number two, you must do some things. Like I said the other time, writing is, authoring a book is a process. It's not only about writing. So you must be able to know other people that are involved in authoring a book. For instance, there are editors to know. There are good editors that you should know. There are proofreaders that you should know. You need to know a good publishing house, just like a Warita. All right, just look at this book, for instance, a very nice book. Look at the artwork, look at the work, at the graphics, look at the flap, look at the cream bond they use, look at the bookmark, look at everything that captures my mind, about the book. Right, so you must know a publishing house like that to work with. Right, you must know that authoring a book is not all about publishing. It has to do with designing your book well, printing your book well, binding your book well, finishing it well, before you now get to publicity and marketing. Now look at the Don now, a book that he wants to release in 2024. He's already doing the publicity now. Those are the skills you must acquire. So, and there are people in charge of those things that you must move, with and know and attend their seminars, attend their trainings, and all of that. Before you know it, you are a good author. So all those things come together. So you are frustrated because the reason you are frustrated as a young writer is because you don't know all these major, other things. You only know about writing. You only know about writing a manuscript. You don't know other things that are involved. And these are the things that I've shared with you. By the time you know them, you will see that it's easy. It's something that you can do and enjoy well. Enjoy the art of authoring a book. Thank you.
Oh,
Things
thank you
it's
so
hard to
much.
know, but when you move closer to people that have been doing it, you will know more.
Thank you so much, Sunday, for this conversation. I feel so excited and happy that we had this conversation. And to everybody who has watched us, who has been watching us, and while we were holding this conversation, thank you so much for tuning in to this conversation. All we are asking is to take everything that we have discussed during this conversation, go put them into work and see results for yourself. So this is me saying thank you again to Sunday. Thank you for authoring the books you've authored. Thank you because I know that you're going to be authoring more books in the future. Thank you for contributing your stake to the growth
Okay.
of the education sector. I believe that greater things are going to happen for you as you continue on this path of authoring books. So that's from me. And goodbye to everybody who
Thank
tuned
you.
in.
All right.
God bless
Thank you
everyone. See
very
you again.
much, Don. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for
So
having me. Thank you.
thank you.
God
Good seeing
bless
you
you.
guys again tomorrow, same time with
Right.
another
So I'm
author
very soon
based
you
in.
should expect more from me.
Yeah. All right. See you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. same time, where I have another conversation with another powerful, awesome author. From me to everyone, goodbye.
All right. Bye. Thank you.